Hi everyone and welcome to the Think Small session on the job templates. This is we are continuing the discussion from the Think Big session that we've done over in the last I think like almost a month ago, and we took our time to really think about the solution that we want to roll out. And there is an issue that I hope most of you, and I'm going to share it, most of you read it already, where I recap the problem. Basically, I copy the same problem for the from the Think Big session. And I've added also some of the product vision and business case, because we started with a really I think it was a specific problem, but it had like several, like maybe a specific theme, I would say, but had like several problems. As you can see here, like teams are not aware of the available template and using the include. And I think that in the Think Big session, we talk a little bit about the actual implementation. But then when we start thinking about, okay, like what is the I would say the minimal thing that we can bring to our customers. And I also want to share with you like the opportunity canvas that I've created based on the customer discussions. And by the way, this is like a rolling document, and if you're not aware, this is something that product manager need to prepare whenever they are launching something like a big feature. And like, you are all more than welcome to read this through thoroughly and add your comments and questions. This is your way to contribute. And I've explained the problem when we start talking about it, and the pain and some of the workaround, and also the business case, the impact, like how many users are impacting by that and what are the potential users. But at the end of the day, we've reached to what we think will be like the minimal viable solution that we can provide for our users. And we believe that the first MVC will obviously not answer all the customer problem, but will only answer one problem, which is mainly around the discoverability. Like, how will users be able to know what are the available templates that the organization have? And when we thought about it, we said, okay, so if we look at GitLab, at what we provide today, how will the customer know what are the templates that we have? Okay, because it doesn't really matter if you talk about like job templates or pipeline templates or something that you can share, or maybe something that you just need to clone and modify. It's just like nuance on different templates that we have, or different types of template. But at the end of the day, like the user experience and the framework to support that should be the same. And it doesn't matter if it's like a template for the entire pipeline or a template for like a simple atomic action. So, and this is why when me and Nadia created this solution, obviously based on feedback from users and from all of you, we thought that like the first thing is to make sure that the solution will allow the user to be aware of what are the existing templates and know what the template is doing, how can they use it, how can they configure it if needed, and what do they need to modify in their pipeline in order to start using that template. It's only after we'll have that, then we can dive into like specific, okay, is it like a job template, or is it a template that will replace the entire pipeline? And as I mentioned here, like, why do we focus on the problem? That's the biggest pain that the customers are experiencing. Like today, they build different framework, different ways on supporting this use case, but the main challenge that they have, and I would say the challenge that we can help, there are like multiple challenges that different teams are addressing, but the challenge that we can help them is knowing what is out there, and we can harness the pipeline editor in order to do so. And like here also, I explain a little bit what I just discussed, that doesn't matter the type of implementation, we need to have the framework. And as I said, we can lead by example. We can tell our customer, hey, this is how we do it in GitLab, okay? Because we have our own templating library. This is how you'll be able to get exposed to that library. And then if you have your own thing, your own processes, and you have your own templates, then you can simply hook up to the same process, to the same user experience that we have with your own templates. I'm going to stop here for a second just to see if there is any other question before we'll talk about like the iteration steps, just to make sure that like everything is clear and you all understand why we are focusing on that specific problem, because I know that the issue that we start with was a bit different.
So the idea is that, sorry, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Okay. So the idea is that we have a template guideline, right? And then we provide it for customers so that they can maintain their templates a little bit more efficiently or neatly, whatever you say. So maybe this is more than just a guideline stuff. There's a future implementation is going to happen.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yes. This is exactly what I want to discuss on the iteration step. I just want to make sure that like while we're focusing on this problem is you all understand why we do that, and then like let's go on the how.
I just think kind of point 1 and point 2 are kind of significantly different. Like they could be separate MVC steps. Like your proposed solution number 1, be made aware of any existing templates they can use. That feels like that's kind of like step 1 of the iteration steps as well, or like it kind of feels like adding perhaps a link or making them more visible and helping them understand what they're doing could actually be broken up into 2 separate MVCs independently, almost in parallel. Like
what types of MVCs?
In the sense that you could raise the visibility of the current templates as one thing that could be done. That could be a front end thing. I'm just spitballing that it could be a link to them or a list of them, or it may be just the same thing, have a selector, but you separately, number 2, you could, as an MVC, expand the comments about templates. Someone else like me could go in and give details about the templates as a separate thing, as a real MVC. Yeah, just in parallel. It feels like it could be cut up.
I agree, and it's not listed here in the implementation step, I think, but like it is actually. I think it's this one, but like I agree. I mean, there is definitely a lot of work that we can do on the content of the template in terms of, but in content I don't mean like the actual what is the template is doing, but like with comments and other guidelines in the template. And also there is like, if you take like a step back, you can see, okay, let's look at like the overall visibility of the template. I would like to go over the implementation step because I think it will probably help out understand what is the proposed solution. So the first, and it doesn't need to be like the first thing, but I think like one of the biggest steps that we would like to do is, first of all, let's take all of our templates that we have to do and move them to a separate group or a separate project, because today there is an issue here. explain a little bit the problem and how this is address the visibility thing, right? So today, our templates lives here, okay? It's first of all, it's very hard, almost impossible for me as a user to know where those templates are located. And even if I find those templates that we have, and those are the templates that are available in the single file editor, which we want to bring into the pipeline editor. Even if I find them, there is no way for me to understand what the template is doing unless I'll go into the template and maybe, or maybe not, there will be like some explanation. Here, for instance, I don't have any clue what those templates are doing. I see that the templates are including other templates and there is no way for me to find it. I need to go back to, to this folder. So that's the first pain. Like you experiencing the first pain that I have as a user. What is jobs? What is pages? Like what are all of those? Now, if you look at one example that Darwin created, like if you take like the same template and just move them to something like that, to like a group or a project, and imagine like that every line here is actually a single template. So I'll go here and there is a README that I can understand what the template is doing. It's in its own project, so maybe we can go back and see like other versions. And maybe we can add also like example project. So there is more for me as a user to help me consume the templates that we have. And once we will move those templates into like this structure, then like the first thing will be to add some sort of, even a button, just a button, to redirect the user. Probably not here, but think about in the Figma. Yeah. Sorry. So let's see. I'm not a Figma expert. So think about something like that. Just a button. You'll click on it, and you'll get redirected to that project library. This one here. This by itself will help the user to understand. It will help some of the discoverability challenges that we can have. And then after that, we can maybe add those templates to the drawer. I'm doing the same mistake. It's here. So think about that. All those templates will be in the drawer. So we have the drawer component that we are creating, and user will be able to search for the template without leaving the editor. Okay, for like the second step.
So sorry, what we are seeing here is the project names. Like we are saying Node.js at the right panel. Is that project name?
That's the template itself. So think about where
do you extract the template name? So isn't it from the project you just showed me?
Yes. It's just a mockup. Okay, I'm sure that like in the implementation itself, we probably need to see more details. But by the way, that's a good question what you're asking, because like the next thing, and this is maybe something that we need to do before, there is an issue that you created about adding metadata to the template. Okay, and so adding different attribute to the template, and maybe we can, I don't know if it's possible, but maybe we can take this metadata and present it here on the drawer. So maybe we need to do first like to add the metadata and then have this capability on exposing it to the user in the pipeline editor itself.
So I just want to talk a little bit about the metadata. I mean, like first of all, your proposal on the linking to the external project or group, like a template group that Darwin created. Is it correct? It's interesting idea that like it has as a value, can ship a value for end users. Can I share my screen a bit?
Yes.
So I've been thinking about the new template architecture, and then writing this the blueprint stuff. It's a bit lengthy, but it's very simple and achievable in like 3 months. So let me skip to the new architecture. I'm going to skip the problem statements. Well, so you just mentioned that we're going to add CI/CD template metadata. This is let me walk through a bit from the beginning. So the new architecture. So what I'm thinking about rethink the CI/CD templates. So first of all, we should correctly capture the definition of CI/CD templates. Today, we can observe some misinterpretations in the feature category. For example, we see the following GitLab CI YAML, like this. And then you might think that this GitLab CI YAML includes auto DevOps template, and then the helper, whatever, the local GitLab CI YAML file that has some job specs. But technically, this file also can be a template as well. Not only the template keyword is keyword to specify the template, whether if it's a template or not. But template can be basically anywhere. Like include local, project, remote template. We have 4 keywords. Each keyword points to the different storages. For example, template is a local file storage in a GitLab Rails, and include the project is a Gitly. The other repository that include local is a current repository. Remote is external server. Templates can be existed anywhere. Well, I think this is obvious. And then, like, if you think about this, we have to know that which GitLab CI YAML is a template or which is not. So that's why we add a GitLab CI template metadata. Like we explicitly tell to the system that this GitLab CI YAML file is a template. So it's going to look like this. So from here to there, it's a normal GitLab CI YAML file, but we're going to add this template keyword that has these attributes that the name of the template, this is a human readable name. Like you showed me the UI, and that the right pane, there's a template name were shown. The name should be extracted from here, template metadata, and the description, how to use the template and the type of the template. We are talking about that pipeline template and the job template. I slightly adjusted it to the workflow template, the task template, but it's basically the same idea. And like API version also about variables, constraints. These are things that to specify the spec of the template, how users should use it. And then on top of that, we can validate it, the template. If the template is correctly used, like if the required variables is actually specified, or the template itself could be invalid, right? Like we have over 50 templates in a live something, the templates folder, but there are many inconsistencies there so that you cannot combine multiple templates, right? Like global keywords are conflicting. So these type validations are gonna check that at the system level, that, hey, this template is invalid, like this template or this template is totally messed up, so we should fix it. Yeah. So that's the idea of the template metadata. And then you also mentioned about the discoverability. So my answer for that problem is CA template registry I mentioned in the last code. So think about the container registry. Container Docker registry, we have already the feature. Like users can upload can push the build image to the container registry, either private or project, and then expose it to the specific project group. And then, yeah. So we do the same thing for the GitLab say, template. And we're going to extend the existing package registry. The thanks to the great effort to the package team, we can use the package registry for this purpose. It's super easy. So the, yeah, we're gonna extend the package structure. This is the technical details, blah blah blah. But basically, we're gonna add this table that every time user is gonna upload, including me, GitLab, and then any users, any external contributors, any organization can upload their templates to your specific project registry. And then these data are parted into the database, which is extracted from the metadata. So here is the great part of the discoverability, that now GitLab instance knows that how many templates there, like keyword search, then search by package name, or the versioning, like above specific measure version, or under measure version, or like a description or type. Everything can be shown there.
That table would have just the metadata. Just to be clear,
like extracted from the metadata. So
yeah,
the package, basically there's a basic structure of the package, that each package has a version, and then attached files. So this attached file is a GitLab same YAML file in CI/CD template context. And then, so here's a kind of similar with the generic package, the package works. And we extend it for CI template that extracts the metadata from the template and then purges into the database. Okay. Well, so, sorry, yeah, with this approach, like I said, since we have all database records, that what templates we have, for what purpose, what type, what description, we can show it in the UI. And then also we can extend include the keyword for package that, for example, include the package keyword, and then specify the namespace, and then package name and the version. So here's a, that the versioning is a big missing piece in the GitLab CI/CD template. So depending on the package registry, we can also support this versioning specification, or even floating version. This is really needed in the auto DevOps. Well, so sorry that I don't want to hold this. I think it's most of the time, so I'm going to stop here. So, I have a different answer for the original issue that you guided us. So I'm going to ping you all in the blueprint merge request. I again say that this blueprint is also, iteratively workable. like we can ship a small feature every month, and probably in the 3 months we can ship something really meaningful for end users. That described in this issue. Maybe we can talk in async, but
yeah, the question for me, is like, how will other users will be able to leverage that? Like, we can do it on ourselves, like in without templates, but what would happen when there is like there is a user that wants to add their own template? They will need to add this metadata by themselves, right? And then we'll be able to expose it in the UI. That's the idea.
For example, like I said, like a container registry, when you push the GitLab like Docker images, maybe you run the build job in a GitLab say like a pipeline, running a pipeline. Simply we can publish the package to the package registry in the project pipelines, and then the published package can be discoverable in the same project context or the same group. If it's a private group, then if we can also register private templates for a specific group. And so on. So, sorry, I might not be. I might not answering your question though.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's more to look into that, and like we are at the end of the time. Like, I guess I should schedule this meeting for a bit longer, and maybe we can continue talking on the issue. But I think like I want to understand like what would be like the next minimal thing that we're able to do, and maybe we can work on that in parallel. Will it be like adding the metadata is something that we can talk about it, but is like moving our templates to a like external repository. Is it something that we can work on regardless whether we will go with this template metadata, or do you think that this is something that might contradict?
Yeah. So like first of all, template metadata is needed. Like you mentioned in this issue that template metadata will be useful to show that something data in the UI. This issue is needed either way. So and then we can work parallelly on the thing like moving the templates to the other project. I guess that also causes some problem though. Yeah, that's a well, that can be worked separately.
Okay. I know that we are like 1 minute above, but I want to like ask if there is any thoughts or questions from like other folks that are here in the call before we'll close it and continue the discussion online, maybe offline. So maybe if we need, we'll do like another thing small to continue. But I want to make sure other thoughts are being heard.
Yeah, just one thing. I just looked at in the agenda and it looks like we didn't take any notes. Just a reminder for all the future meetings, we should probably keep notes in the agenda when somebody's talking in their points, just so we can look back at it, and then remember.
I agree.
Yeah, so good. I think, was this recorded, Dove? I
Yes,
know it's not the same, but
yes, it is recorded, so we can like I can recap the discussion on the issue actually, and we can continue this offline. Okay, I want to take more of your time, but let's continue the discussion. I think. Thanks. Bye bye.